My name is Edward Hawkins, and 3 months after my wife divorced me, she came crawling back to my door begging for millions of dollars. But by then, it was already too late. For 10 years, I believed Evelyn loved me. Together, we built a life most people could only dream of. I built a successful company, a beautiful home, and a future for our daughter. Then everything changed when I was diagnosed with a rare degenerative illness. As my health declined, Evelyn stepped forward to help manage our finances. What I didn't know was that she was secretly draining my accounts, selling company shares, and moving assets behind my back. The moment I confronted her, she looked me straight in the eyes and said something I'll never forget. I married a man who could build empires, not a man who needs help opening a bottle. A week later, she handed me divorce papers. Evelyn walked away with the house, luxury cars, expensive jewelry, and most of what the court believed belonged to her. Her father, Howard, celebrated like they'd won the lottery. They thought I was finished. What they didn't know was that while I was recovering, I had been preparing. Every transfer was documented. Every forged signature was recorded. Every lie was stored away. I said nothing. I simply waited. 3 months after the divorce, my phone rang. It was Howard. His voice shook with panic. "Edward, please. Evelyn needs emergency surgery. The hospital won't operate without $2.5 million. Please help her." I took a sip of coffee and calmly replied, "I'm sorry. Who is this?" Then I hung up. The truth was, I had created a private medical trust worth $2.5 million years earlier. Only I could access it. Not Evelyn. Not Howard. Nobody. Suddenly, the people who had spent months humiliating me needed my help. The next day, there was a knock at my apartment door. Evelyn stood outside. Her makeup was ruined, her eyes swollen from crying. "Edward," she whispered. "Please. She'll die without the money." I stared at her silently. This was the same woman who lied in court, stole my assets, and replaced me before our marriage was even over. Then I stepped aside. Standing behind me was Detective Graves. The detective held up a warrant. "Evelyn Moore, you're under investigation for financial fraud, insurance falsification, and identity theft." The color vanished from her face. "You set me up," she whispered. I shook my head. "No. You set yourself up." Within minutes, officers escorted her away while investigators seized documents connected to the fraud she'd spent years hiding. The following morning, Howard stormed into my office. "You destroyed my daughter's life," he shouted. I calmly slid a USB drive across the desk. Inside were recordings, bank records, forged documents, and conversations between Evelyn and the man she'd been seeing behind my back. The evidence was overwhelming. For the first time, Howard had nothing to say. Then things became even stranger. That night, I received a black envelope. Inside was a single sentence. "You should have left the past buried." There was no name. No address. No explanation. The message led me to a man named Jonas Clay, a former colleague connected to both Evelyn and my family's past. The deeper I dug, the more secrets I uncovered. Hidden shell companies. Offshore accounts. Manipulated wills. Years of deception. Then my cybersecurity expert made a shocking discovery. Evelyn had secretly been funneling money into accounts connected to my late father's estate. She wasn't just stealing from me. She was trying to control my family's entire inheritance. That was her final mistake. Armed with documents, financial records, and witness statements, I took everything to my attorney. One by one, Evelyn's lies collapsed. Her assets were frozen. Her reputation was destroyed. Her allies abandoned her. Even the man she left me for walked away after learning the truth. A few days later, she called me. Her voice trembled. "You ruined everything." I looked out the window and smiled. "No, Evelyn. I just exposed it." Then I hung up. For years, they thought I was weak because I stayed silent. What they never understood was that silence isn't weakness. Sometimes it's a man patiently waiting for the truth to do all the work.